There. This is Ann, and I'm just gonna make a really quick video here because I've got something on my mind, and I always think it's silly when people make like these videos in their cars, but you know what? The lighting in here is really great, and it's quiet. But anyways, I was it's hard for me to hold the phone for too long. I'm gonna try to prop it up here. Gosh, there's so much. I get off on a tangent and I start wanting to tell you, like, because my hand hurts, I want to explain to you that, you know, just like a year ago, I couldn't even hold my songbook or my Bible at church. It was hard. I couldn't sing because the muscles in my throat were so bad. But anyways, so I've come a long way on my healing, and I was talking to a friend of mine this morning at we had an award ceremony. And she also has fibromyalgia. And we were talking about how people who don't have a chronic illness, how they try to understand, but they don't really understand. They don't really know because they really aren't in our bodies, and they don't know exactly what we're feeling or what we're thinking or what we're going through. But anyways, I was telling her that, you know, like, I struggle every day. Like, if you knew where I was to where I am now, you'd be like, woo, that's exciting. Right now, I make it to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then that's it. Like, Mom has to go put her jammies on and go find a book and lay in bed and rest. And I notice some of you, especially who do have fibromyalgia or a chronic illness, and you know, we're all different. And I'm just going to tell you that we're all different, so you can't judge one person's illness with another, even if you have the same diagnosis. But anyways, like I was telling her, if you knew where I was, and she knows where I was, to where I am now, it's amazing. So that's why I'm sitting here in my truck making this really cheesy video, because I need to share this with other people, because I don't want people who were in the position I was in 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago, today, to have to do it by themselves. Especially if you're watching this video, it's because you're looking. You're looking because you're concerned and you're trying to figure out what your problem is. Anyways, so I really need to like write myself notes so I stay on track. But anyway, so we were talking, and it's like I was telling her that I have like 3 or 5 like really bad days a month. Like, can't get out of bed bad. Get my kids to school, come home, put my jammies back on, and hope and pray that my husband gets off of work in time so that he can pick up the girls and maybe some pizza on the way home, because I'm not going to be worth a whole lot for the rest of the day. And so, and you're going to have those days where you have like really bad flares, and it's rained here past few days, which we have needed the rain desperately. Lots of bad fires and things like that. And so this rain has been a blessing. So I hate to even complain about it, but the pressure in the air and stuff, it's bad. It's bad on our bodies, and it's hard to deal with. But anyways, I still have a hard time with like speaking. And 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to even have, I could barely speak a full sentence without being so exhausted. So anyways, what I was saying was we, you know, like I have 3 to 5, 7 days, you know, a month that's really bad. And then of course I give out around 4 o'clock, and about 11 o'clock or so, I start breaking out with this red. That's like my immune beacon, and I'll go through some of that stuff, you know, with my Facebook and my blog and stuff like that. But anyways, 2 years ago, I was having 3 decent functional days a month. The rest of them was like straight up flare days, which means so bad I couldn't even hold a sentence. I couldn't hold this phone in my hand for as long as I am. I couldn't even think a full sentence. It was so bad. I was on so much medication. I was so fatigued, so tired, so, and it wasn't just the medication, it was my illness too. I was on that medication to treat my illness, doing everything that the doctors told me to do, trying to diet, losing weight, gaining weight, exercising, not exercising, Tai Chi, yoga. There wasn't anything I didn't try or do. So anyways, that brings me to this other a friend of mine. But anyways, so I went to visit a lady earlier this week, and sweetest lady, I've known her like so many years, and she knows how I struggle. And so she was telling me that a friend of, and this is no disrespect, but I want to share this because I know a lot of us deal with this every day, just regular conversations. And I used to hate to even go to the grocery store because I didn't want to run into somebody and them say, oh, how are you doing today? Oh, you look good. You look good today. And inside my head, I'm screaming, do you know how hard it is for me to look good? Do you know how hard it is for me to like be here? Do you know how hard it is for me to even speak to you? Because of the pain and the fatigue and everything I was going through. And then you throw all that into loss of your job, loss of your life. Not loss of your life, like not breathing, but loss of the life as you know it. You're straight up in mourning for yourself. And it took me a while to understand that, because I always kept striving to be that person I was. That person I was last week, the person I was last year, the person I was 5 years ago, that person who could do everything. I was the full-time working, full-time college student, full-time mama, baked the cookies, kept the house clean, washed the dogs, doted on her husband, just, I was that. Always positive, always smiling. And I was struggling with fibromyalgia at the time. And then it got bad. It got so bad. It was debilitating bad. And I wasn't doing anything different. And my doctors kept adding more medicine. And I would take more medicine because they told me to. And then it would get worse. And then, we'll put this on there too. So it about destroyed me. It about destroyed me. And so that's why I'm sharing this. And I went from having a 5-minute video to I'm at like 7:15 now. But anyway, so this friend of mine, the older lady that I was talking to, her friend has a friend that has fibromyalgia, that she said that you have to go out and make yourself walk when you're tired and you don't feel good. And since I've been doing better, I've got where I can handle people a lot better. And I looked at her and I shook my head and I said, you don't understand. For me to even brush my teeth and be pleasant to my children, which I love with all my heart, it was all the energy that I physically and mentally had in me. And looking back at that and thinking of all the times that I was in bed and that I didn't go for a walk in the sunshine, because sunshine is so good for you. And I was raised to believe that. I was raised to believe that you are tough and you suck it up and you just keep pushing, because there's, you push and you like run that race and you get to the finish line. Even if you're last coming in, you feel good about yourself. And so I pushed and I criticized myself, and I would lay in bed because I hurt so bad. And I didn't have the energy to brush my teeth or put my shoes on. And it was horrible. And I'm this overweight lady, of course. And so the first thing I thought was, people think it's because I'm fat. And sure, I'm fat and that does add to my health problems. But, so-and-so is fat and they're not living like this, and I have this, and I'm so glad that I have such a blessed life and such beautiful children and a wonderful husband, because I don't know how people who could live through what I was going through could do that without a supportive spouse or supportive family members. If it wasn't for my husband and my mother, and that's my child, because it's the last day of school, and I'm late picking them up, and because I'm not ready for them yet. Daughters, but anyways, so I'm just going to that call. I will be there in a minute. She knows I will be, so I'll let her talk to her friends for a couple minutes. But anyways, it's hard, because even if you have fibromyalgia or a chronic illness that causes you to have all that fatigue and that loss of energy and to be so sick and to need to take all the medications, and I'm not saying go home and start taking medications. She's calling me again. So not bleeding in a ditch somewhere, I promise. But she, for people to, and they're not criticizing you. That's what I'm saying, is they're trying to be helpful. And so I'm saying this, and I'm going to try to say this really quickly, but I'm saying this to you if you're listening and you're dealing with what I was dealing with, what I'm dealing with now still. I'm doing so much better than I was. And because of that, God has put it on my heart to share this with other people. And I feel silly making videos, and I feel silly sitting in my truck and talking to you. But I straight up wish that somebody would have shown me this when I was in that place, because it wasn't a good place. And putting yourself down and criticizing yourself and being upset about the fact that your life is not like it used to be, and you have a valid reason. You have a valid reason to be upset. You have a valid reason to be but you don't have the right to make yourself sicker, because that's what you're doing. And there's a fly flying around here, but you don't have the right, because when you do that to yourself, it makes you sicker. It makes you way sicker. And so be good to yourself. Use that time when you're resting to read up on why you're sick, to look at all the side effects of all of the medications you're on, to make lists of what you're going to talk to your doctor about, to look into other doctors. As far as doctors, medical expenses, I don't have health insurance. And that's a long story too. Insurance for time. And that has to do with being able to qualify to get on different medications, things like that. And because I left my job, I lost those benefits too. So I understand exactly what you're going through. So if there's anything that I can do, any questions, any advice, anything, prayer, if you need a prayer, if you need somebody to pray, there's people that I pray for daily. And if you're a praying person and you believe in God, then please let me know if you need prayer, because I will definitely pray for you. And pray for me. I need them every day. But that's why I'm sharing this. So I'm going to answer this phone call. Go pick her and her sister. We're going to come home and start our summer vacation. So, thank you very much. Bye-bye.